Hi everyone, and thanks for watching. This is Stephen with iFoundAgent. Wanted to go over some material about automating your lead and past client follow-ups today. So I'm just going to cover some basics about, you know, what is a database and why we need one. What kind of follow-up strategies are considered best practices for new leads and past clients. I'm also going to show you something which may be new to you about using your website similar to the way you use the MLS. More on that later. Let me give you a demo about what I mean and explain that to you and just go from there. So I first want to point out that, we're talking about systems and automation and all this stuff. I want to just point out something that's not everybody understands is that everybody has a system, and I want you to be examining and deciding what your system is. Like it's cool if you have a CRM, but most agents that I meet and talk to have a CRM, but like 90% of them don't actually use it. You've heard the adage, the best system is the one that you'll use. Well, the one that you'll use oftentimes is like pen and paper, right? Or maybe it's just your phone, putting a contact record in your phone, not only for your contacts, but also for like gate codes to communities, or, some people, their phone is their system, right? Some people are using a CRM, and some people are really rocking their CRMs or have very advanced systems, but not most people don't. Some people even have random scraps on their desk, which, let's be honest, we've all been there. So, in thinking about what system you're using, I need you to ask yourself, is your system sufficient? And I don't actually need you to think about that too often because I already know the answer. The answer is no. You really wouldn't be watching this video or be looking if you weren't missing something. I mean, is the tool you have, is it ill-equipped to handle your needs, or is it just a system that you're not using? So what are your goals? Most agents I talk to have goals. Like they know about how many closings they had last year and how many closings they want to have this year coming up. Or maybe it's not closings, right? Maybe it's they want to earn higher commission by selling, start targeting to a different market, or um, you can have different kind of goals. But I want you to think about what your goals are and think about what you're doing right now. Is your system sufficient enough to get you there? And again, this is another simple answer of no. Why? Because you can't get different results by doing the same things. I mean, it's the definition of insanity. I think a lot of people have heard, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. So start thinking about what needs to change in order for you to break that threshold, get into the next space, increase your goals, increase your sales. What's it going to take? Well, again, we focus on a couple different areas, some of the biggest areas for real estate agents, and one of that is database management. And so, database management is kind of a loaded and generic phrase. So when we say database, we're talking about everybody you know. I mean, yeah, lead generation from various sources, right? Maybe you're getting leads from Zillow, Realtor.com, your brokerage website. Maybe you're doing something in the lead generation space, right? But think about your database as also your current clients, people that you're working with right now, people that you've worked with in the past, your past clients. But I mean, even beyond that, even neighbors or sphere of influence, could even be like your kid's soccer team coach. Just anybody that you know, everyone can be considered somebody that should be in your database, right? People that you know, you should have in a database somewhere. So, I mean, I want to just touch real quick on lead generation, um, and just what's the plan for lead generation follow-up, lead follow-up, and past client follow-up? There's a lot of similarities. One of the biggest areas in lead generation that's often missed, which I hope you know, and if you don't, then if this is news to you, then I'm glad you're here, is that gaining contact with a new lead is your first priority. If you get a new lead source, I mean, whether that's a referral from somebody you know, or a lead you get from Zillow or some anonymous type source, you got to gain contact with that person as a first priority. And I know it sounds kind of silly to say that, but you'd be surprised. A lot of people put their information in, but they don't want to answer the phone. They don't want to talk to anybody. They put their information in because they feel like they needed to at the time, but that's based on an emotion that is fleeting. So the first 5 minutes, studies show that the first 5 minutes are absolutely critical. Your chances of gaining contact and converting a lead just by reaching out to them within the first 5 minutes are just astronomical. I'll go into the stats in a second. Gaining contact with somebody can actually take up to 2 weeks. So, I mean, if you call them and you text them and you call them and you text them and you email them and you email again and then you call again, that's still not enough. I mean, it may take up to the first 2 weeks to gain contact with someone. In fact, studies show it's going to take you about 6 attempts just to gain contact with somebody, and often more. Once you've gained contact, the key is cultivation. Not every lead is ready to buy now. Not every lead is ready to do something right now. They may be interested. They may like you. You've built that relationship, but maybe they're 6 months down the road. Maybe they're a year down the road. What are you going to do between then, now and then to cultivate? What are you going to do to remind them, I'm the person you like, I'm the professional you trust, come back and use me? And, one question I want to just put out there is like, why not just send home listings on a recurring basis? I'm going to go into that more in just a moment. First and foremost, I wanted to just cover, this is a graphic. Unfortunately, it was kind of small, so I've blown it up. Hopefully you can see it, but your time, the impact of speed to call and conversion is amazing over the first 5 minutes. So here's the 5 minute mark right here, and then it just drops. It just continues to drop the further time goes out. So again, that first 5 minutes is critical. You're more than likely to gain contact with somebody and convert if you're able to reach out to them in the first 5 minutes. And again, gaining contact can sometimes take you over the course of a couple of weeks. This is basically saying the sweet spot is about, the sixth attempt to contact is usually when about 93% of your leads will have converted at that point. So it takes effort. It's not just a quick call, text, and if they don't answer, move on. So how are you going to manage all this? I mean, if you have real estate is a very high-paced, fast-paced industry. I mean, how are you going to manage it all? You get leads from different sources, things, a whole database of people. How are you going to manage it all? And the answer is a CRM. A CRM needs to be in a part of that vision. CRM just means customer relationship management or manager. But, I just like to call it your database management or your contact database. It goes by a few names. And over here at iFound Agent, the CRM needs to be really intertwined with your website. So the new strategy I want to talk to you about is using your website like the MLS. I want to show you how you can use your website to set up searches for your clients or your database, and you can just let it, you can set these up to be on a recurring basis to consistently provide that cultivation, value add, what your clients are looking for to help increase your business across the board. And that works with current leads, that works with current clients, it works with past clients. It's something that works across the board because you are a real estate agent. People expect good information from you about real estate. And yes, that can be recipes and that can be newsletters and anecdotal stories. But a lot of times people are looking for real information. So why not send them listings? And the benefits of using your website versus the MLS is that it brands you much better. It establishes more credibility, having a great and awesome website. It markets you. And the way our websites are set up, the user experience is actually improved compared to the MLS in a few different ways. But another big benefit that we're really not even covering on this class is just the fact that this website, in doing this, is marketing you on a very heavy level. You've heard of SEO, you've heard of trying to get on the first page of Google, and while that is a long game and a long-term goal, it doesn't happen without getting in the game. And by getting in the game, I mean having a website that's well written, it helps you on the SEO side, and that pushes content for you. I'm going to show you how that's incorporated as well. The other thing I was going to point out is that this is a really good scenario for like open house leads. If you're setting up an open house, a lot of our agents will have their website ready to go to have a search kind of ready at the ready, and then they could just pop in their new lead and send them information about the open house or the area and the market around that open house area. And all of us, and just all of a sudden, that's instant consistency. Consistency is key here. For past clients, a closed listing search is really beneficial. You can set your client up for a market update in their area. I know you've probably heard of different tools, providing market activity, and the many tools out there are just that, they're tools. But what we're doing is we're taking these tools and we're turning it into something that is actually yours. So if you're using, one of our websites, this is your website, your content. It's yours. You can take it with you if you want. So if you're setting up a market update right on your website, you're inviting people to come back looking like a professional, and again, providing that consistent follow-up, which is going to mean more referral business. In fact, NAR put out a stat not too long ago. Actually, it's been about a year and a half. They said about 88% of buyers would use a past real estate professional, but only about 11% did. And that's largely due to the fact that people just forget who their agent was. So what are you going to do to not let people forget you? Are you following up with all your past clients now in a meaningful way? So tips to consider here is whatever you're going to do, you don't have to use our system. I'm going to give you a demo and show it to you. You don't have to use our system, but you should be able to automate. You don't want to send blanket blast emails to everybody all the time. It's one way to keep in touch with people, but it's not, it's not unique. It's not targeted. Doesn't make them feel special, right? Doesn't give them that value add that they're looking for all the time. Sometimes it does. There's several types of drip systems out there. Market updates, newsletters, like I said. So you can pick one and go with it. Anything is better than nothing. You want to have that consistency and you want it automated. You want to make sure you're tracking, what's going on with, are people opening what you're sending them? Are they engaging with you? Or are they just unsubscribing? You want this to become a habit, is a big takeaway here. The agents and people that are successful in real estate develop really great habits. And you bet that having a database, working the database, and working it consistently are key. So if there's one thing that you take away from here is to spark that change, get some automation and get consistent. So I'm asking you to just take an honest look at yourself real quick and say, the current system that I have that we just discussed earlier in this video, are you the systems that you have able to connect and get you to where you need to go? And if not, it's time to make a change. All right, so let me go ahead and just jump in and show you what I'm talking about. So here's an example of one of our websites. This is actually one of our demo sites called ScottsdaleLatestListings.com. And I'm not really going to take a lot of time to go over, all the amazing features of the website. I could probably spend an hour just doing that. But we're talking about lead follow-up, and it's a very easy thing to do in our system. So once you're in our system, we have one screen called the Campaign Builder, which is really geared towards sending information out to your clients on a consistent basis. It's a very easy thing to do. All you do is start typing in your contact. If they're already in your database, in your CRM, you just click their name and you're moving forward. If they're not here, I have a way to add them on the fly very quickly with this button. We have a nice big map here, and we have a very powerful search tool. So again, we want to work into your mind space that whenever you can replace your MLS to send a search to your client, you should be, because the benefits are incredible. The return on that investment are unspeakable. You have and I've already covered all the reasons why, so I'm just going to keep moving forward. You do have this polygon tool, and I just want to give you a quick idea that you can create different shapes and search very similar to the way that you would in the MLS. You can have more than one polygon, you can move them around, you can change their shape, you can change their color. And sometimes that's necessary. All of your polygons and all of your criteria gets thrown into a bin. So if you no longer need that purple polygon, you can just get rid of it with this little X. And in fact, I don't need this blue one either, so I'll get rid of it. I'm going to do a quick search for a subdivision called Garden Lakes. It's a well-established community on the west side. It's actually in Avondale, closer to where I hang my hat. Garden Lakes, and let's just say we're going to do a market activity, and I want to do active, pending, and closed listings. I want to do everything for one of my clients. As far as closed listings go, however, I don't want to do, the many years of closed data that's in the system. I only want to do maybe the last 30 days. Well, let's do 90. And do the last 90 days worth of data. And I think that's good enough for my search. Let me hit this View Search Result button to see what comes up. Looks like all my homes come up within the same community, which looks great. I can go through here and thumb through some of the listings to see what's going on with them. Yep, this looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and hide this list by just clicking this little up arrow. So I need to give this campaign a title. I'm setting up a search for one of my clients, and I'll go ahead and say market activity for Garden Lakes. This system will also market you. Again, getting in the SEO game and looking at trying to get leads organically long term, it's a long game, but you got to pay to play. You know what I mean? You can't just expect things to come to you. You got to work at it, and the way you work at it is by having a website that's really well written, that's really capable of handling the SEO side, and by pushing content on a consistent basis. I'm clicking this button to make a blog post. That's pushing the content and helping me on the SEO landscape. And it's tailored to the niche communities I'm working, because I'm going to publish posts. It's going to take this search criteria, drop it in a blog post, and that data is stuff that Google can sift through and understand, know what I'm offering, what I'm about, what listings and what data my website's all providing, because it's very indexable. Google's really able to sink its teeth into it. So let me give it a better title. Recent marketing activity in Garden Lakes, Avondale, AZ. Good long tail keywords here. Here is a list of homes. A little description goes a long way in regards to SEO, and also for anybody that's, just find your blog post. It'd be a good idea to explain to them what they're looking at. Here's a list of homes that are for sale, under contract, or have sold within the last 90 days, all within the Garden Lakes community of Avondale, AZ. Helps if you spell things right. Thank goodness for spell check. Featured image is a great tool because it typically will tell social media like Facebook, if you're going to use this blog post as a link, make sure you attach this image to it. Down here in the scheduling, how often do I want to send it to this person? So that's going to depend on the prospect or the lead or the past client, right? If this is a past client of yours, they may not be looking to buy or sell anytime soon. So it may be prudent to just send them something once a month, or maybe once every 2 weeks, depending on your comfort zone and their interest level. What time of day? Now, I'll send this today. I do have the ability to do instant updates, so my client can receive alerts as soon as a new listing hits this search criteria. Just want to be careful with that. Make sure you're not clicking that for past clients or people that aren't looking to buy or sell, because that will be they may get overloaded, especially if your search is a very broad search. So I'm just going to keep moving down, and I get to verify that all my information's intact. We have some email templates in here. I'm going to do one for a homeowner and just says contact first name. In this situation, it's going to say, Stephen, here's your neighborhood market update. This is merge tag that says alert link. That's where the link is going to go for the search. So if I hit save campaign, that's it. It takes a minute or two to set somebody up on the search and blog. And this is automated, so this is going to go from now until forever. Remember, I didn't put an end date. I said it's going to start today, but it's not going to end. It's going to go on indefinitely. So all of a sudden, I'm cultivating a lead or a past client. I'm reminding who I am, and I'm providing them with great information. So if I go back to, let me go back to my email and see. Here's my email that I got from myself. Here's your neighborhood market update. Check out what your client receives. They're taken to a place. I mean, imagine this is your website, a very beautiful website, branded to you. They just clicked on the link, and then bam, here's the search results they're looking for. You've just given them exactly what they need. What they don't know, but you do, is that when they go here, they're automatically being signed in. Notice I just got a pop-up saying that Stephen visited my website. So you're going to get notified when people are clicking on your links, going to your website. If they save a property, notice how for the client, it didn't ask me to log in or register. It already knows exactly who I am. You will also get a notification for people that are saving searches or properties. They can actually edit and fine-tune the search that you created for them. Oh, here's my pop-up saying that Stephen just saved a property. Notice how fluid that is. The last thing I'm going to show you real quick is that if you do go back to the client record, I do have a database in here with contact information telling me when their last visit is, when their most recent actions are, and there's a lot more information if I jump in. So there's some great conversation starters if it's time to call this person or touch base with them again. But look at the most recent actions: saved property, website visit, clicked email link, all of that. So we're tracking everything. So that really concludes today's video. So thanks so much for watching. If you have more questions, make sure to call me or email me or text me. My number is 480-447-5890. My email is steven@ifoundagent.com. If you think you might be looking for a change and you want to see a little more about what this system can do, have any other general questions that I can answer for you, 480-447-5890. Thanks so much for watching.